Well. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show with Mike. T-Ray is here. Hello, T. How are you?
I am just great.
Dandy.
So much better now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a night. I'm so outraged at this point. I don't know who to even blame. God? Do you just blame God?
Well, yeah, sure. Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got a text yesterday from DTE saying how hard they're working on fixing the power. I texted, and I knew it was just an automated thing.
Mm-hmm.
I still texted back, eat the whole bag of dicks. Fuck off. We've been out of power for 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Knock it off. Don't. The next text I get from you is the one going, we're terribly sorry. We're giving you a 20% discount for the month. And by the way, your power's back on. Second time in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well,
Days without power.
that is correct, Jim. But
I'm like, my bones are frozen.
why? You were at your parents' house with power.
Yeah, but I spent enough time here.
I know why.
But they keep it colder in their house. They're not there, so.
You could have cranked that bitch up to 75.
Yeah, but my dad's got fucking shit on his phone that tells him, and I don't need that. I don't need to, 3 years from now, I need to go over and use their house again. He goes, well, remember that time you cranked it up to 73? That cost me an extra 4.5 cents.
Yeah.
You'll never welcome in the house again. Who knows?
Well, I'm sure it's cranked way down because they're not there. You
Oh,
have to
yeah,
be
of
able to
course.
Put it up to a
No.
normal temperature.
Oh, no, that's over my head. Obviously, I can't figure out how to plug a TV in, or turn up the thermostat.
Yeah.
So he has to do it remotely. I was like, okay, dude, whatever makes you feel safe.
Just text him. Can you change the channel for me, Dad?
Yeah, right. Right. And
done with this one.
Dad, there's a movie coming on that looks pretty good, but it is R-rated. Do you mind if I watch it?
I'm done pooping, Bob. Can you flush the toilet remotely?
It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. And I had such a panic attack, dude. You wouldn't have believed it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm laying in bed. I got Cece there, which is the crux of all life's problems as far as Bob's concerned. Because if the dog, God forbid, pisses somewhere, isn't like eats her food and spills some of it, these are all like catastrophic problems.
Yeah.
And so I'm laying there. It's the middle of the night, and Cece starts coughing. Do dogs cough?
I think they gag. I don't think they cough.
I was trying to think. I'm like, I don't know. Do they cover their mouth and cough like humans do? I don't think so. But nonetheless, she starts what I will call coughing, and I figure I dreamed it because she like spit up or something. And so I wake up in the morning and take her out, do all the things. She has spit up a little bit, tiny bit on their blanket.
Oh, you found the gack.
And there's a chunk of something. I'm like, it's over. Nice job, dickhead. It's over.
Well, you could have just not said a word and washed it and got away with it scot-free.
I did all that.
But now it's out there.
No, I'm hoping he doesn't hear this.
He won't.
Yeah.
Well,
No
Bob,
one. In the family.
Pat,
Yeah.
this is up to you.
Yeah.
This is a test for you, Moo.
Yeah. Exactly.
Are you going to tell Bob that the dog shit in your bed on your pillow?
It was just a little gack, and then I was like, fuck, this is the first and only thing he's going to notice in the house. Mm-hmm. And so I did, I got the cleaner shit out.
You didn't see it on the cameras? Didn't immediately start texting you?
Yeah, if you had a camera in the bedroom, that would be gross, first off, and scary as shit, too. I cleaned it. It's spotless. It's dry. It's clean. It's fine. But
we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see.
They're coming in tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I got to go pick them up at the airport because I'm having surgery on Friday.
You're on the clock.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my turn. Tooch is doing well.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to hear. I have not talked to Betsy. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Updates?
Hers was a lot more complicated than Tooch's. Hers was a lot more complicated, it sounds like, than mine is going to be. Hers sounds like whatever they were fusing started up here at the top of the cranium and goes down to her ass crack.
She's bionic now.
Yeah, so I don't even know. I'll catch up with her at some point, but it sounds like where Tooch was out of the hospital in a day, she was going to be there till Friday. And this was like Monday I was talking to her, or Tuesday. So she was going to be there a lot.
Yeah, there's probably different situations, obviously. I mean, they're not all the same. But some of them you have to stay probably immobile to a certain degree for some level to let those things set, and then some of them you probably have to get up and get moving, pretty much right away.
Yeah. So it was a very nerve-wracking time for me with the power out because I'm in Bob's house, and being in Bob's house is not. There's no joy in that.
No.
No. It was a necessary evil, and I felt bad for Cece. I knew it was going to be in the teens, weather-wise, a couple of those nights, and it's like, no, I can't. I gotta grab some stuff and go over there. It is what it is. But
poor guy. You had to go to the big empty house with power and cable.
No. That wasn't the problem. The problem is Bob.
I know.
Like, dealing with Bob is the problem.
At least Bob wasn't there.
No, he wasn't. But the fucking guy's coming home with my mom for my surgery. He wants to be there.
Attaboy. That's support right there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. All that. He's like, I don't care what you and your mom do with Cece once I'm gone. But I'm like, oh, okay. So you're just going to stick Cece on Troy. Great. He's going to love that. So while he's here, Cece's not really welcome in his house. But once he fucks off back to California, my mom's going to stay here. And then it's like, my house, my rules. Cece stays here with me.
All right.
So she's like, fine, I'm just going to come over to your house and walk the dog every day then, or feed the dog. I'm not going to abandon her for a week. So
sure,
it's a whole thing. And I swear he's getting worse in his old age. God bless him. Love him to death.
Sounds like you had a terrible time with the power outage.
Yeah. And you went full fucking Rambo in the woods.
Leaned into it, man.
Dude, you leaned into it hard. I figured you'd go somewhere. It's not like you don't have choices, too.
I had options. Yeah, of course.
But
no, I stayed here. No power, no nothing. I stayed in the house the whole time.
You had fucking fire going around the clock.
Yeah.
And
I decided, it was based on the previous conversations we'd had about the apocalypse and the EMP fucking strikes that we've been talking about. And the power went down and what we do. And I decided, well, the first night, the roads were so bad that you went to your parents. I was getting ready to go.
It was not smart to go there then.
No.
It wasn't. It just wasn't.
A tree fell on my old truck. So when I was clearing that out and then loading up my car to get ready to go, the other half of the tree fell on the other half of the truck.
Nice.
As I was out.
Did you look up, locate, and step to the side?
I did. Well, I was leaning into my truck. They're parked side by side, so the other car was on the driver's side of my new truck, and I was on the passenger side, like loading stuff in. I had my phone charging plugged in, and so I was thinking I was texting on the phone or something, and I just heard it. And I just dove into the truck, like, all the way. I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't know how big that's going to be, but I just dove into the truck the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And then I just hear, beep, beep, and the alarm starts going off on my truck.
Oh, no.
I was like, fuck me.
It's funny because I finally, you and I both, like, have contingency plans. Being in Franklin, it's like you got a bag packed or, like, on the ready at any moment. And we're both sitting here as thunder or lightning and then thunder is crashing through this wicked fucking snowstorm. And it's like, dude, I don't remember ever seeing this.
Yeah, that's
like the
that
sky
is rare.
lighting up. It's super rare.
Yeah.
But
it was a huge thunderstorm because just south of us was rain. My mom they got like 6 inches of rain down in Indianapolis.
Really?
We were just north of the sort of the cold enough line where it turned to snow.
Right.
So it was,
and it snowed.
It was like just wet, snowy rain. That's why it was so heavy and so wet.
Yeah.
That's why it was fucked everything up.
Well, it was brutal. So I hop in my car with Cece and I back out. You call me 5 minutes later. You're like, did you notice the fucking tree on the back? And I'm like, no, I can't see out any mirror. I almost ran over the boulders at the front of the house.
Yeah, I saw the tracks.
Yeah. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see a fucking thing. I couldn't see out of the mirror. The camera was covered. The rear view mirrors didn't work. It was like, no, I did not see a fucking. I like ran out there, got the dog in the truck, jumped in and backed out poorly. And was off on my way. And then I'm going towards Northwestern off Franklin Road. And I get down and there's a truck with a plow. And he's sitting there. I'm like, let's go, asshole, honking the horn. At which point I realized there's an entire tree down across the road. A big tree. And it was like, oh, my bad. Sorry about that.
Not going that way.
Yeah. And
then
I
plow down and move it, guy.
Dude, I was doing 25 miles an hour on the freeway the whole way to Brighton. The whole way. So, and I couldn't see, and it was like, it's dark, and the lights on the side of the freeway weren't working until I got to, like, really close to Brighton, like that Grand River exit off 96. Until I got there, I couldn't see, there was no lights at all. So I couldn't see. And then it'd just be like a turn. You're like, I think this is a turn to the right. This happened with Ryan and I when we were driving cross country, and I was driving at night, and we went into a construction area, and all of a sudden I'm like, where the fuck does the road go? I start turning it. He flips out. Dude, no. He grabs the wheel and turns it the other way. We were just going to go careening off into God knows where.
Nice.
And thankfully, he saw what the problem was. And it was like, all of a sudden, it went down to one lane, and we were just going to plow into a cement divider with me at the wheel. Huh? And driving to my folks' house, I had no idea where I was. No idea. It was just like, I was on sort of an autopilot because I've been there enough times that
Hopefully there's usually some taillights in front of you can just kind of half-ass follow.
Yeah.
But
except they were going so slow. It was like, okay, I'm comfortable doing 30, but I'm not comfortable doing 15. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
It's a little too slow.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I could get out and jog next to you guys at this point. So I went around them, and then I realized what they were dealing with, which was, oh, yeah, you can't see a foot in front of you.
Yeah.
That's why they're going 15.
Yep. And now they were going 30 behind you, going, thanks, dickhead.
Thanks, asshole. Way to take the lead.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those where you turn your brights on. For people around the country, we have listeners in Florida, Arizona, California, but maybe don't know anything about driving in snow. But when you've got a heavy snow and you kick on the brights,
makes it worse.
Makes it 10 times worse.
Because all you see is the snow in front of you.
Yeah.
You can't even see down the road. It just lights all that up.
Yeah. So it's like you're better off almost turning your lights off.
Yeah.
And just, but like I said, there was no, like for majority of that drive, none of the overhead lamps on the freeway were even working.
Yeah. So yeah, I survived the Friday night, and because I just was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna hunker down here. I got wood. I don't want to drive in this if I don't have to. I'm gonna wait it out as long as I can. If it becomes unbearable, because I mean the power had just gone out, so the house was still warm. It takes a while for that to cool off and stuff. So I figured no matter what, and the longer I wait, the better the roads are gonna be.
Yeah.
So
they got great overnight.
Yeah, exactly.
The next morning they were great. You called that.
It stopped at like midnight. So I'm like, if I have to go somewhere later, I'll take my chances. But right now, I was right in the middle of it. I'm like, there's nothing's plowed. It's going to be a shit show.
And it was.
I'm just going to sit it out. Well, then I kind of dug it. Like I just had a fire. It was quiet. Oh
my God, Tooch was sending me pictures. He's completely immobile, but he was sending me because I'm. Well,
that was the next day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was calling him and texting him and not getting really a response. And then I'm texting with his girl. I'm like, is Jimmy okay? Yeah. His power went out. He's right out of surgery. And so I'm like, bro, just give me an update. I want to make sure you're okay. If you need anything, but he's like, dude, it's hilarious what's going on over your house with T-Roy right now. It's like, oh, God.
Yeah. So
he starts sending me pictures of sandwiches you're trying to make.
Yeah, the next day I was like,
I'm like, he's just sitting there getting hammered.
Yeah.
Sitting by a campfire, drinking himself to oblivion.
Fuck yeah, it was great.
And figuring life out.
I was.
Yeah.
I totally was. I was checking to see, my preparedness level of how I could survive in the event that this is what we had to do, Of course I could go somewhere, but let's test it a little bit. So I had one of those cast iron sandwich makers for like campfires,
Where did you get that? I've never seen that before.
Yeah, well, I bought it because I had to go out
recently.
That day. So I went out Saturday and I just like ran errands all day and went shopping and did shit, to get out of here for a while. I had to get more wood and shit like that. And then, but stuff that I've been putting off for weeks that I went and got all this shit done. But so I bought one of those. I was like, okay, So then I did. I got myself I had a little shroomy that night too, and did some soul searching.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was eating these grilled cheese. They're fucking fantastic, by the way.
Really?
They turn out so good in there. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like a cast iron version. It only fits one sandwich, but sort of like the George Foreman. When you figured out for the first time that a George Foreman makes an unbelievable grilled peanut butter and jelly, or grilled cheese sandwich, it's a great day when you figure that out. It seals everything in.
That was nice.
And that it looked like it with that.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to wash it because I started doing dishes because after you spent 2 days here by yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Well, I couldn't wash anything. I couldn't rinse anything.
That was next level sink shit.
I had nothing to do with it.
Everything you got into was the worst shit you want drying on a bowl or a plate.
Yeah.
The worst.
Fruity Pebbles after 2 days in a bowl.
Fruity Pebbles.
Is cement.
That should be...
build a house with that shit.
That should be punishment for people in prison, right? Just everybody who eats Fruity Pebbles, let it sit with a little bit of milk in a bowl for a couple days, and then we take it over there and let the prisoners, wash it.
Yeah, there you go.
Because that's a punishment in and of itself.
Hard labor.
And I'll be honest with you, SpaghettiOs and meatballs are not that far behind.
No, okay, yeah. Well, I didn't think those would set up that hard. But I evolved into that. I decided I was going to take cans. So I did a soup and SpaghettiOs and meatballs.
Yeah.
And I just took the label off the can and I put it in the fire to heat it up that way. So just check it. I mean, I got to know what my
What did you
range
use?
is.
The gloves, those big fucking black gloves to get it out of there?
Yep.
Okay, and then what did you opened it after?
No, see, that was the thing is I used and hey, pro tip for everybody out there: if you're going to be the doomsday prepper, get your cans that have the little tab on the top to open them up.
Yeah,
so you don't have to have.
That's how
can
those
opener.
SpaghettiOs and meatballs
exactly. And then one of the soups I had was too. I just cracked it a little bit, put it in there, and fucking, it was amazing. It worked out great. It was hot.
Really?
It was awesome. Yeah.
Why did you feel the need to pour that then into a bowl?
Because the can was hot as fuck. What are you talking about?
Well, so set the can down with the gloves and then take a spoon to it.
If I was really roughing it, then I would have. But I'm still had some luxuries of home, so I poured it into a bowl so I could hold it and eat it like a human.
Hence the problem with the washing later.
Yeah, well,
it sucked. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
It was not fun.
That was my mess to clean up. You dove into it.
Yeah, that's the least I can do. Least I can do.
So yeah, no, I was absolutely proud of myself, and I had a pretty damn good time.
See, that doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, it looked like you had a good time. It sounded from my brief conversation with Tooch that you were having a blast. And I'm like, dude, if you've got Troy sitting there and you add alcohol, shrooms, or any other drug, really, that's a combo that's going to work, whether he's stuck in an igloo in Alaska somewhere in the dead of winter or he's in the luxury and comfort of his home. Like, that doesn't matter. Bury him in the woods somewhere. If you give him those components, X Factor drugs, mushrooms, and alcohol, and he's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you run out of those things, we got a problem.
Caramels were on point.
Caramels,
it was a really good time. I did some introspective thinking. It was really nice.
What'd you come up with? Anything you can share?
No, nothing to share. No, that's all. It's still introspective.
Yeah. It's made me realize I am worthless.
Oh, yeah, you're
just
not built for it. Yeah.
Done for, you know?
Yeah.
When I was sliding on the road, trying to get through the treacherousness of those roads, I was like, if I fishtail hard enough and hit something and, like, the car won't start for whatever reason, I'm fucked. I'm just going to die where I am. There's no way.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to walk 2 miles to the next exit in this snowstorm.
Did you take like boots and
no.
coat and gloves and all that with you?
No.
See, that's for winter traveling. You got to take that stuff.
Yeah.
Got to have some waters with you.
Yeah.
Flare gun. All that.
Yeah,
shit.
I didn't have any of that stuff. None of that. I was in a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And jeans.
Yeah, that was not going to work out well for you.
No.
Very unprepared.
Well, we made it through. I'm hoping this is the end.
Yeah, let's see. Way to go, March. March has been a motherfucker.
Yeah, really?
So far.
We survived November, December, January, and February.
Yeah.
Almost without a hitch. And then March is kicking us in the dick.
That's what I get for going like, hey, man, it's March. We're coming out of it.
Yeah, you did say that the other day.
My bad.
Ugh. But,
All right.
yeah, it was...
So here we are. And you know what? We didn't even have to miss a show.
Yeah. I thought, dude, I came home this morning because
I mean, we just got power back this afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's been out this whole time.
Yeah, I came by.
Monday afternoon.
I came by here at noon or so. Power was out. But the light was on at Franklin and
Oh, yeah, that's
13.
a good sign. Yep, that's a
And
good
I'm
sign.
like, wait a minute. I've never seen that light on and we don't have power. So then I had to run to the post office. I'm like, well, I'll run some errands like T-Roy did. Go to the post office. They have no power at all. And I'm like, okay, this isn't good. And so then I ran a couple more errands and came home. And as soon as I got close to the house, I could see the garage floods on. I was like, oh, yeah, game on now.
We're back.
Sometime around 1:30, 1:15, it came on. So
that was a good stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a couple good things, I think. I bought big bags of ice.
Yeah.
Put them in the freezer and the fridge to help try and keep it cold.
Yeah. Seeing as we had to throw literally everything in the fridge and freezer out last week.
Yep, for the most part. So yeah, like I said, I was trying to kind of test myself a little bit.
Yeah.
And I say I passed.
I knew you would.
Always.
We know I would have failed, but I'm glad you passed. One of the things that was good about that, like going to my folks' house And like you say, it was empty. It's just me and Cease. But it's just uninterrupted. You know, there's really nothing to do there. There's nothing to eat there because they're gone for, you know, half the year. So they don't have anything really to eat, a bag of chips. And so I don't really have food there, but I got TV. And they don't have direct TV hooked up or anything. So I'm stuck with just, you know, Netflix. And I think Netflix and Apple TV were the two that I could get.
Okay.
So even though they have all the others, even though I have all the others, the HBO Max and Showtime and all that stuff, none of that would work over there for whatever reason. And I was not going to call Bob and try to get to the bottom of this.
That's smart.
Better off just
Roughing it.
yeah. So I did watch plenty of Netflix, and that beats watching nothing. And I just kind of locked myself in the bedroom and watched TV. I watched, and then I didn't even realize this was going on, but Chris Rock dropped the new special.
Yep.
Selective Outrage, it's called. Now, they kind of sold it as this is going to be a special event like going to a comedy club where it airs live on Netflix at this time. And when it ends, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
And so I was like, wow, that's kind of a weird formula for Netflix because you didn't have to buy it. It wasn't like a pay-per-view stream on Netflix. It was free on Netflix if you're already buying Netflix, which I'd say half the people are.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
Maybe a third.
Yeah, maybe a third. And then the other 2/3 are just using someone else's credentials.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, so they've got this countdown going and this whole thing. So I texted like all you guys texted you and Tooch. I figured Tooch is laid up. My folks out west and my brother. I'm like, hey, and like nobody was home. And I'm like, it sounds like they're going to air it and then it's gone. But then my mom texted me the next morning. They weren't there. They couldn't. She's like, oh, can you record it for us? I'm like, no, it's on Netflix. What am I going to record?
Yeah.
It's not on
Set your phone up.
DVR. Yeah.
Record the
Like,
whole
no,
thing.
she's like, oh, that's too bad. I wanted to watch it. But then it sounds like they got home at some point, you know, I guess Friday night or Saturday night. And they were able to watch it. So maybe it's still there.
Oh, yeah,
for
maybe.
Now, I will say, you're a big Chris Rock fan, right?
I am, actually.
Historically?
Yep, definitely.
He's no Dave Chappelle.
No. I mean, there was a time when he was sort of that pinnacle.
Yeah.
You know?
Bigger and Blacker
Yeah.
is one of the finest stand-ups ever produced.
Yep.
And so was the other one. He had like two.
Yeah, went back to back with those. I forget the name of the other
And they were,
Yeah, as good as you get.
dude, I'm not kidding you. I used to go to Bobby's house when he lived in Birmingham. And we would, like, once a week, we would sit down and watch that. Like Bigger and Blacker or, I don't remember the other one. And I'm assuming it still holds up, but it's like N-word versus black guys, black people.
Yep.
You know, that whole bit. Some of the best comedy I've ever seen. As far as like start to finish, the best shit ever. It was up there with Eddie Murphy Raw. It's up there with, you know, the greatest.
Never
that I've ever-
Scared.
Never Scared was one. Is there another special?
Kill the Messenger, Bigger and Blacker.
Kill the Messenger was great.
Yep. Yeah. And then Chris Rock Tambourine.
Tambourine's good. You know, I imagine it's got to be pretty hard to keep that edge and attitude as you get into your, you know, as you get up there in age. You're things that seemed like the end of the world in your 20s or 30s just aren't that big a deal when you're in your 30s and 40s and 50s. And I believe Chris is 58 now.
Okay.
There's some moments in there, and I won't say what it is, but he
is 58. Well done.
Yeah. He talks about his daughters. Lola is one of them, and he's got another, and they're about them. And I thought it was fantastic when he was talking about them and how being as rich and spoiled as they are, you know, what that means and what problems that presents. Like, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Fucking great, you know? And, but then I wanted to see how Twitter felt because the last 10 minutes of the special finally gets to the point everyone's waiting for.
The Will Smith stuff.
The slap at the Oscars.
Okay.
And if you were looking forward to that for a year, you would be disappointed.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Because it was such the elephant in the room hanging there, you know, it's good. I encourage everybody to watch it. Will Smith sounds like a douchebag, and so does Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yep.
But, you know, he kind of went hard at Jada, too. You know, apparently this beef goes back to 2016, the Oscars in 2016, where Rock was hosting. And that was the Oscars So White, hashtag Oscars So White year.
Yeah.
And also when Jada Pinkett Smith wanted boycott the Oscars because her black husband was not nominated for an Oscar for the movie Concussion.
Okay.
And Rock's like, which sucked, by the way. Fucking movie sucked. In only the way Chris Rock can deliver that.
Yeah. You must have said it twice.
Dude.
Right?
Dude. It's all I can see with Chris Rock when I hear he repeats it. His specials, they might claim to be an hour. They're 30 minutes.
Yep.
Because he says every fucking word twice. Every one. He repeats everything.
In case you missed it the first time, let me say it again.
In case you missed it the first time, let me say it again. It's constant.
Yeah.
And he's been like that forever.
Yep. And it was
so funny.
when it was new. It wasn't quite as annoying as it is now. Now that's one of the things that turned me off a bit.
Well, I'm reading Laura Bradley's column.
I was wondering what she had to say.
Yeah, weren't you? Is that the infamous? I wrote that down as the lesbian haircut.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that qualifies for sure.
So a lot of people are taking issue with Chris Rock. Everything he's ever done racially. Now, if you remember the famous clip that went around, and it's Louis C.K., Chris Rock, Jerry Seinfeld, and
that round table that they were at.
yeah,
the other
Ricky Gervais. Okay. Did I say Ricky Gervais?
No.
Okay, Ricky Gervais.
Yep.
4 of them talking about the N-word. And the only one of the 4 that's very uncomfortable with this is the worst comic of them all, Jerry Seinfeld, who is literally not that funny on the stage. His show was a home run, no doubt about it. Jerry's a comic, I guess.
N-word. What's up with that?
Yeah, I've never found his stand-up to be
No,
like
not overly.
all that great. I thought his stuff about training your whole life for the Olympics and this guy comes in first, second, third, you know, like Wheaties box, never heard of him.
Yeah.
And it's just like by a nose. Like that was clever.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, there's some brilliance in it, but as far as just actual stand-up and delivery and,
Yeah.
you know,
Not my scene, not my style.
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. But there's definitely genius to the material.
Yeah.
But I've just never been a huge fan of his delivery, his presence, stuff like that.
Yeah, me either. But we all have to pretend like he's the greatest stand-up or one of the great. He's like some Mount Rushmore comic. Like, no, not even close. He could put his show up there. You want to put the show Seinfeld on Mount Rushmore as far as sitcoms go? No problem with that. You know?
Yeah.
But as far as his stand-up. So anyways, that clip starts going around where Louis dropping the N-word, Rock is, and they're basically talking about how we call each other the N-word. They're old buddies.
Yep.
Chris Rock and Louis. And then, you know, Ricky Gervais can't help but get involved.
Right.
And Jerry's just nerding out going, oh, you shouldn't say that word. Nobody should say that word. And people are like, oh, yeah, Chris Rock's a piece of shit. The way he let this racist say this word around him and blah, blah. And you're like, okay.
Oh, saying it automatically makes you racist no matter what the context.
Right.
I see.
Exactly.
I missed that part. I forgot.
Yeah. So yeah, selective outrage. He goes through this whole thing, and I won't give away any of the punchlines for those that didn't see it. Like I said, unless I was home in a power outage, I would have never flipped on Netflix. I would have missed it completely. But it's worth checking out. You know, I kept hearing how Rock's on his game better than ever before. You know, I don't know. I remember laughing much harder at his earlier stuff, for sure. But it's definitely worth a watch, I would say. What are you looking up over there?
Not
What were
sure.
you, what? Were you trying to find something? Or
No.
Uh-oh, do we have a problem going on here?
I don't know.
Ah, boy.
We'll find out. You should talk about our boys real quick. Yeah, let me handle some. Oh, there.
All right.
Okay, no, I think we're good.
Hey, the crew at Zott Ford and Holly is jonesing to help you get a brand new Ford, all while delivering exceptional deals and a world-class experience. Right now, lease a new loaded 22 Ford F-150 Super Crew XLT 4x4 as low as $292 for just 24 months, or lease a new jammed-up 22 Ford Explorer XLT four-wheel drive as low as $333, also just 24 short months. Plus, if you tell our friends at Zott Ford, they'll kick in $500 worth of accessories at no additional charge with your new F-150. And Zott Ford is still paying $2,000 over your appraised value when you lease or buy a new Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer, but only if you know the name of Etard's favorite furry little critter. Finally, Gabara and the team are still going nuts and offering 0% financing on lots of their new in-stock vehicles. So go check out their voluptuous inventory and dazzling deals at dealsinthed.com. Should also mention radiofor1.com is the site. It's been up for a few months now. Encourage people to go there. That's where you're going to get merch, sweatshirts, winter beanies, hats, all that kind of stuff is there right now. The Amazon link and Amazon Canada. My Pillow, just use promo code TDC. That works at the My Store, mystore.com, or at My Pillow. Groupon is there as well. Click and shop away. Also, you can find the link to our Patreon page, which is very helpful. The plan was definitely to do some exclusive member content this weekend.
Absolutely.
The whole studio blew up. So
Yeah. By the time we could have, to the time we now, now we're doing the real show.
yeah, exactly. So, hey, look at it as a blessing this week, because my surgery was supposed to be tomorrow,
Okay.
which would have wiped out the rest of the week. Well, they pushed it back to Friday.
Well, there you go.
So you guys get
the extra week, bonus
full
week.
of shows.
All right.
How does that sound, huh? We're learning more about the the woman who was led the charge to deal with Roald Dahl's children's books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there was somebody leading that. It wasn't just a collective.
It was by an English group called Inclusive Minds. So the massive woke rewording, re-editing of Dahl's books, largely perpetrated by Inclusive Minds. Joe Ross Barrett is a former project manager at Inclusive Minds who headed the project. She wrote on LinkedIn in 22 that she was working on a secretive project. Involving delivering a large-scale comprehensive review of inclusion issues and potential solutions for copyright holders and publishers of one of the most famous classic children's book collections in the world. Specifics under NDA until publication.
Oh,
so I can't say any more.
Teaser.
But, yeah. By the way, she describes herself as... So I would expect if you were in this line of work, you would describe yourself as a publishing expert or... editing, publishing.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, she describes herself as non-binary, asexual, polyamorous relationship anarchist who is on the autism spectrum.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that makes her hireable.
Yeah, who better to be out in front of this?
Yeah, yeah. We'll get a little breakdown of what that means exactly, too, because I'm confused. I'm hoping you can help me clear some of this up.
It's all just blah, 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 blah. That's all I fucking heard.
For most people.
Good gobbledygook.
I'm going to go a little slower next time I bring up those words.
All right.
And then we're going to see if we can't figure out what the fuck this lady is.
Okay.
And I don't believe I'm misgendering. I believe she goes by they, them, and her tits or something. Something like tits and her.
Fair enough.
Something like that. It gets so confusing when they constantly are going, they wrote, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, who? Wait, who's they again? Oh, and then I'll catch it a paragraph later and be like, oh, yeah, this idiot wants to be addressed as they.
Of course.
Fuck. Them wrote this. It's just.
Yeah. It's adorable.
Yeah. It's adorable in a want to punch you in the face kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A profile of Baird on the Inclusive Mind site described her as they, them, and a writer and editor with a passion for championing inclusive content and policies. Joe is an autistic, non-binary, asexual, polyamorous relationship anarchist. They work with Inclusive Minds to help authors and publishers make their books more authentically representative of marginalized groups. Okay.
I picked up more of that. I have questions.
Yeah, so do I. we'll give people the definitions, and we'll try to come to a place where we understand this too.
Yeah. There's
I'm hoping it helps.
some conflicting information in there.
A little bit. You picked up on that already, did you? Yeah. So did I.
Okay, good.
Which is why I was like, wait a minute. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Did I fuck this up?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Yeah. I guess it matters what day of the week it is.
Sure.
Again, we'll go slower in a moment here and see if we can't help people with this. The problem with this, you fucking over-egoed piece of shit, Joe, sorry to tell you how I really feel, you didn't write these books.
It's not yours to fix.
It's not yours to fix, no matter what fucking stupid thoughts you have in your head. They're your thoughts. Enjoy them. Don't read the books if you don't want. But what you should not get to do, unfortunately, this whack fucking world we're living in, someone's giving you license to do these things, of which you have no right. You did not write these books. Actual authors wrote them. They got famous from writing them. You did not. You should not be able to come in 50 years after the guy's fucking dead and reword his works. How dare you? How bloated is your fucking ego, Joe? Seriously.
I think we've established that.
Yeah, right.
You can't put letters from education after your name, so you just got to put titles like that before it.
Right. Inclusive minds use sensitivity readers and inclusion ambassadors. Well, I wonder who these brilliant minds are. To edit children's stories, the ambassadors could be as young as 8 years old. Well, that's who I want editing my fucking adult-written children's books.
Sure.
Is an 8-year-old, right? Mm-hmm. By the way, unless you're fucking brainwashing these 8-year-olds, they don't even know what you're talking about. They don't.
They're going to take your guidance.
So you can, while you mold these mush-brained individuals, you can make them believe anything you want. You can.
Little Joey said that we should change this, so let's change it.
Yeah. Okay. Tell little Joe we said fuck off. How about that?
How about we ask 20 different 8-year-olds and see what happens?
Yeah.
See if we get one consistent answer out of all of them.
That's a great point, too.
Right?
How about this? How about you start working on your children's books right now, 8-year-old, and let's see where you get. In fact, I'll give you 20 years. Let's see if you get anywhere near Roald Dahl's works.
They can work with the 8-year-old and put together a brand new book.
Yeah, I bet it'll be a huge hit.
Very inclusive, I'm sure.
Very inclusive. Start working on it. Yeah. These ambassadors could be as young as 8. Some ambassadors included a trans-identifying poet. Well, that's what I needed.
Yeah.
How about they're just really good at their job?
Or how about they're just a poet?
Yeah.
What the fuck does their identity have to do with any of it?
My guess is this individual was just a poet for vast and probably not a very successful one, right? Roses are red, violets are blue. You love me, but fuck you too.
Yeah.
Right? Someone without poet talent would be my guess. So how do you get to be important? You could be a trans-identifying poet, and all of a sudden you're included in the party.
Make yourself relevant.
Yeah. Because
or something other than your work.
The fact that they're not bragging about your work as a poet, the famous works you've done, the books you've published, and the publishing companies working with you.
Award-winning or the acclaimed,
critically acclaimed.
Yeah. No, it's the trans-identifying poet.
The bidding war at all the publishing houses, from Random to Penguin, that went on for years trying to sign the most brilliant poet, arguably of our time. When they can't say that about you, but they can say trans-identifying poet.
They didn't even say published.
Right. Yeah, it just goes up on fucking poetry night and snaps for get snaps all night. Right. That's basically what you did. So you could literally take the poet out of it. Trans-identifying. We've heard enough.
Yep.
You're in.
That's
You're
it.
in.
That's all that matters.
Come on in.
That's the most important part, really.
There's also a queer, trans-identifying, and intersex person. So that's who they're reaching out to. An 8-year-old.
Yeah.
And the adults in the room are a trans-identifying poet and a queer trans-identifying person and an intersex person.
Oh, that's 2 different people? I was thinking it was the queer. What was that? What was the third one? It was a queer.
Well, could be, but there's a
intersex?
comma in there.
Okay. All right.
So included a trans-identifying poet and, so that's one, a queer, trans-identifying, and intersex person. So is it just a queer?
Yeah, well, that's or is that 3 different people?
I think it's 3 different people.
Well, why wouldn't they have the and? I think it's 2 people. I think that's a queer.
A queer trans identifying.
Yeah, intersect. And what is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
However, the Telegraph, which might have been the original story we read a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
that told us what they were eliminating as far as some of these books go. So they illuminated some of the changes, obviously, and their report caused author Salman Rushdie, okay, he's the guy that's got a fatwa on his head, right?
Oh, well,
Isn't that-
intersex is a person born with a combination of male and female biological traits.
Yeah, hermaphrodyte.
Is that the
Did we
hermaphrodite?
change it?
Is
Yeah.
so that's the actual. So an intersex now was the new hermaphrodite.
I'm going to need proof at this point. I just don't believe you.
Yeah.
Let me see 1 vag lip and your 1-inch dong.
Pull the flaps back.
Yep.
Dick comes out.
Yeah. Peekaboo. So I thought this was interesting, and I don't know what to make of this. So Solomon Rushdie tweets, Roald Dahl was no angel, but this is absurd censorship. Puffin Books and the Dahl estate should be ashamed. So Puffin is the publisher of Dahl's books.
Yep.
Puffin has now come out and said they will release 2 versions of each of the books.
The good one and the shitty one.
Yeah, which tells me the pushback was so great
Yeah.
that they didn't have much of a choice. But
How are they
do
going to
this.
differentiate between the 2?
There'll be a label saying
This is
this book was authored at a time when feelings towards marginalized communities was not
It's going to have an asterisk.
yes,
next
there
to the
there will
title?
be a label on it, 100%. It'll be the parental sticker on all the fucking rock and roll albums.
And that'll be the ones that are used
Parental
for
advisory.
schools and things like that. I mean, I'm saying that Dahl isn't necessarily part of the curriculum,
the
but
the woke one will be.
yeah,
probably.
absolutely,
Yeah,
it'll get traction that way.
yeah, because no one else in their right mind is going to go buy it. I mean,
No, it's corrupted.
yeah. You took someone's great works and you made them your own. Well,
Exactly.
now they're not Dahl's fucking books.
Draw a fucking penis on the Mona Lisa.
Yeah,
It's not quite
Yeah.
the Mona Lisa anymore.
exactly.
Funny, but it's not the Mona
It's
Lisa.
hilarious,
But not the
but
Mona
not
Lisa.
the Mona Lisa. Yeah, no, exactly. That it's to me, it's no different than walking through your favorite art gallery, name it, and putting fucking black paint over all the naked titties.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, someone might be offended by this. Hey, this just leads to the patriarchy and the misogyny of America. And this is the problem in our country. So we're putting paint over all these photos, over the titties and the exposed vagines.
But I don't know. But it seems like that's the way they're leaning. Is more sexuality, more nudity, more shit.
Yeah, but if it continues to the gawking of these paintings for if it helps misogynists and they gawk at things like this,
Yeah.
because all it would take is one guy posting a photograph on Twitter and going, nice tits.
Yeah.
On this fucking shit, even in the 1400s, these guys knew what a pair of tits looked like. And then you can imagine the comments that would come with that of people going, we need to block these titties.
Yeah.
Look at guys like this, creeps and gross guys like this are jerking off to it.
Yeah. Guy's been jerking off the titties since the beginning of time. It will never end.
Since before the Ice Age,
Right.
right? We went through an Ice Age 20,000 years ago. Before that even, when we were cave dwellers.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have to jerk off to him. I just clubbed him over the head and took him.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so there's that.
Do you think titty fucking was going on in caves?
I don't think so. I mean, there was no lube. So he just went straight vagine. Just dug it out of that bush and went
You think they
after it.
gave a shit? Like, wow, this might be uncomfortable for my cave wife?
I don't think they cared at all.
Yeah. So Penguin Random House released a statement saying, we've listened to the debate over the past week, which has reaffirmed the extraordinary power of Roald Dahl's books and the very real questions around how stories from another era can be kept relevant for each new generation. Oh, I got an idea. Leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah.
You're a publishing company. Publish.
It's a good start.
You're not the author. No. The fact that Was it Roald Dahl that wanted to change one thing, or was that was a different author?
No,
it was the Bond author.
That was the Bond. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ian Fleming.
Ian Fleming,
Yes.
who wanted to take the N-word out of
Which ironically
To
was
Live and Let
how
Die
I
or
started
whatever.
when we were talking about the Roald Dahl thing. Like that's the only even remotely acceptable, situation I could see where making a change to the work, if somehow that was offensive or improperly used and you wanted to change that out. Again, I'm not
if
for
the
it.
author did.
Yeah. Well,
I don't even like it when the author's, still living wife wants to,
no, you didn't write it. Shut up.
shut up. Yeah. And I know, you inherit when your family member dies, and now, ask Prince. He's probably rolling in his grave somewhere, seeing his music being used where it shouldn't be used, but that's the reality. But, if Prince's family went in and changed everything to, little green Corvette, like, no,
Right?
you don't get to do that. When canaries cry, no. Well, we own the rights to it now. I don't care. You didn't make it famous. Prince did.
Doves are endangered now, so
Yeah.
we're not. We have
Yeah,
to
we don't
change
want to
that.
encourage people getting doves as pets, and
I
we
say
don't
the
want to
times.
encourage doves to cry, so we've changed it to canaries.
When doves don't cry.
So, by making both Puffin and Penguin versions available, we are offering readers the choice to decide how they experience Roald Dahl's magical, marvelous stories. So if you don't remember, in the book The Twits, have you ever seen a woman with an uglier face than that became, have you ever seen anyone with an uglier face than that? Which I thought your take on that was brilliant.
Yeah, you made it so much worse.
It's way worse.
So much worse. You took it from the ugliest 50%
Yeah.
to now the ugliest person in the whole fucking world.
100%.
Yeah. Now, I mean,
Imagine if you're the subject of that line, and it's like, man, they've never seen a woman with an uglier face than mine, and then they changed it and went, oh, no.
No, I
Here's
mean,
what he
just-
really meant.
yeah.
Like, of all of mankind.
of everything.
Of everything, you have the ugliest face. Might make you kill yourself at that point.
Indeed.
Like, there might be 8 billion people on planet Earth. Somewhere, one of them is literally the ugliest person on Earth.
Gotta be, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Someone's going to be the hottest. Probably not me. We haven't taken a vote. We
Jury's
don't
still
know.
out. You never know.
But, if it's the yin and the yang, it's the good, the bad, the on, the off, the black, the white, the hottest and ugliest.
Exactly.
It just has to be.
Smartest and dumbest.
Smartest and dumbest.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the balance.
Can you imagine out of 8 billion people and the vote comes in and it's like, you, sir, were voted the dumbest.
Boy, you know how fucking dumb you'd have to be the dumbest? That really is dumb.
I mean, it takes window lickers to like a whole new level. Like, window lickers are becoming doctors
Yeah.
at that point.
I mean, if you
compared
can
to
put it together to actually lick the window, you're doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're ahead of the curve at this point. So the next one was, oh, do shut up, you old hag.
That's just, it fucking rolls.
It's great.
It is.
They changed to, do shut up, you old crow. No. And we went through and we replaced what we thought would be like cunt. Oh, shut up, you old cunt.
Yeah.
Would have worked better than you old crow.
A lot of things.
Lots.
Yep. And it's weird because hag, I mean, what's the problem? What's the offensive to that?
Yeah.
And why is crow so much fucking better? Because
Well,
it's demeaning.
hag, you wouldn't call a guy a hag, right? You wouldn't say,
Is
oh,
that it? Is
God.
it a gender
It's
thing?
gotta be. Because you're right, hag is not a term used in forever. It's probably a word that if young people looked up hag, they would have to, if they read that passage, I wouldn't put it past them like we do. What does a hag mean?
A witch, especially
Yeah.
one in the form of an ugly woman.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that when I hear hag, I immediately thought of Broomhilda or whatever.
Right.
Like that's what I think of is a cackling witch, old hag.
There you go.
But I don't think you'd call a male a hag, and that's where the problem lies.
Clearly, yeah.
So, you old crow, I don't think of crow. That's genderless,
I guess.
which is
yeah.
probably how they came to that.
Wow.
These ones in the witches, these were just removed. These were so egregious. I do not wish to speak badly about women. Most women are lovely.
That just
Yeah.
had to go.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah, gone. How horrid, disgusting, my grandmother said. That out of there. No. We know better than Roald Dahl. And the other one didn't make any sense either. Matilda, mothers and fathers became parents. The BFG, what was
Not
that again?
caregivers? When do we get to, and then that'll get changed again in a few years to make parents
for sure.
caregivers?
Yes. And then there was the one about going to like Europe with Rudyard Kipling and
Well, you changed like who they were with and where and
yeah,
shit?
like the locations and people all changed.
Right.
For some reason.
Yeah, still got to go to Africa with Hemingway, though.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. She went on an olden day sailing ships with Joseph Conrad. She went to Africa with Ernest Hemingway and to India with Rudyard Kipling. She went to 19th century estates with Jane Austen. Who said anything about Jane Austen?
We don't even know she was there.
No.
You're making shit up now.
Is the problem Rudyard's a guy's name and so is Joseph and you wanted to throw Jane in there? Is that the issue?
Maybe. Yeah. What's she doing with all these guys? We need to get another chick in there.
And-
Which is odd because they're trying to get all the chicks out of this thing, apparently.
Yeah, doesn't make much sense. So she then went on to Africa with Ernest Hemingway. That's fine. California with John Steinbeck. He never mentioned California or Steinbeck.
Nope.
The fuck?
Too many liberties are being taken.
Way too many. What was BFG again? Big fucking
Giant.
gash?
Yeah.
Big furry gash?
Yes, exactly.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that was written in the 70s, I think, right?
Yeah. Big furry gash. Yeah. BFG, it's, big fucking giant. Something like that.
Yeah. Big friendly giant.
Oh, yeah. I was this close.
Yeah. It's definitely not black.
No. Black fucking giant? No.
Not anymore.
No, the word black was consistently taken out of the book. So, and replaced by the word dark in sentences such as, it was something black. It was something dark. It was something tall and black, tall and dark, and something very tall and very black and very thin. Okay, so going back to how Jo describes herself, all right? This was the project she was working on.
Credentials.
Yeah, her credentials, the only thing that matters.
Exactly.
Describes herself as a non-binary, asexual, polyamorous relationship anarchist who's on the spectrum.
Okay.
So here's where this gets tricky. So if you break this down by category, asexual,
Yeah.
it means you're attracted to no one.
Right.
You don't have sexual feelings or desires. You don't feel a sexual attraction to anyone.
Yep.
Out. You don't want to sit on dicks or you don't want to crush pussy.
Yeah, you're
If
asexual.
You're asexual. So non-binary.
They don't identify as
They don't conform to gender identity. Traditional binary beliefs about gender, which indicate that all individuals are exclusively either men or women. Batshit crazy thought.
yeah.
So yeah, if you don't subscribe to that, you're welcome to the non-binary team.
Yet they're in a polyamorous relationship
Yeah.
with multiple partners.
So polyamorous, characterized by or involved in the practice of engaging in multiple romantic and typically sexual relationships with the consent of all people involved.
Well, thanks for putting that
Yeah.
in there.
Otherwise, you'd be a polyamorous rapist.
Yeah, poly raper.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah, amor means love.
Huh?
Amor means love.
Yes.
Polyamorous.
Amor.
Multiple lovers, I believe, is the loose translation of that.
Okay. So you're polyamorous.
Well, aren't we all?
Yes. Or we all wish to be.
Yeah.
Not everybody
Not generally
can
at the
be.
same time, though. I think that's the
Yeah.
in a relationship with multiple partners, a throuple, if you will.
So, in one sentence, you have zero sexual feelings or desires. You don't feel sexual attraction to anyone, comma,
You don't identify
and
as any sort of
as
a gender.
any gender, comma, I fuck everything with consent.
With consent.
And then if you're wondering what relationship anarchy is, because that's a new one.
Well, I thought it was a polyamorous relationship, comma, anarchist.
Well,
I think anarchist sits on its own. I don't think they're a relationship anarchist. I think they're in a polyamorous relationship, comma, and anarchist. No?
No.
That was how I interpreted it.
no, non-hierarchical polyamory refers to people who don't have a hierarchy of partners. Okay?
Yeah.
So if I'm fucking this girl and that girl and this girl and that girl, I don't play favorites to the hottest one.
Okay. They're
It'd
all
be like, you're the ugliest
level
of
playing
my four in my harem, so you're getting a lot of, shut up, bitch, is dinner almost ready yet? Well, I'm paying much more attention to the hottest and then going down the line. Okay?
All right.
Non-hierarchical polyamory also is called egalitarian polyamory or relationship anarchy.
Okay.
So,
Fair enough.
yeah.
Okay. So they're all, they're all equal.
Yes.
But
Each partner may receive equal time and attention. They may also have equal input on important life choices.
that seems weird that you would.
That's called a marriage.
I know,
typically,
but to call that relationship anarchy seems like a weird fucking definition of that.
yeah.
To have everybody be even and level.
Yeah.
Like,
Isn't that the
peers,
dream of
that's
marriage?
kind of the goal. Yeah.
Like a husband wife in a true balanced relationship are
Yeah.
making
So if it's
difficult
not-
life
if-
choices together.
Yeah. If you take the polyamory part of it out of it, polyamorous,
Yeah.
and it's just relationship anarchist, that would be equals, right?
Yeah.
So a marriage should be a relationship anarchy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on who you ask. But
Seems like a weird way to describe
I
it.
don't think Uwe would want to,
She's a good woman.
an anarchist relationship.
Hasn't
But
given me shit since my son was born.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And
seems
we all
overly
know-
qualified to lead the charge on changing these books.
Right.
Yeah. Because nothing in that at all says any sort of literary background or
No. No. History in publishing and
nothing.
working for book houses, even a library, for fuck's sakes. I worked in my high school library for 3 years. Okay.
Something, anything.
Anything.
But no, that's
what you do in the bedroom is the
somehow,
least of my worries.
That's somehow the most important thing anymore. The
Yeah.
totally identity.
Yeah.
I won't say who or where, but there's a college locally that I found out last week was Sex Week.
Okay.
Okay, I went to college. I
Yeah.
didn't. I mean, I had a lot of sex weeks, but not like on the actual curriculum.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So there was some of the this, and so this is all like through the schools.
Why won't you name the school?
Because I don't want to out anybody on this or whatever, but
Oh, I do.
I know you do. So let's see. Starting on Monday.
Can I guess? Is this a 2 or 4 year?
At 7 o'clock. It's a 4 year.
Okay.
Starting on Monday at 7 o'clock, there's sex trivia with students for reproductive freedom.
Wait, what does that entail? Do I have to read a book to figure out what their trivia is about, or is it just random sex trivia?
I don't know.
Because I think I could do well in that.
Tuesday, there's sex toys with Planned Parenthood peer educators. So let's see. Oh, this cut off here. Sex goodies.
When does Planned Parenthood finding the time for this?
I don't know, right?
And what with all the murdering of babies and whatnot?
The ABCs of dating with sexual peer educators. Sex con, abortion monologues, pro voice.
Oh, there you go. Planned Parenthood.
BDSM with Planned Parenthood. Sex con, the Friday drag show. I have video of that, by the way.
Of what?
The Sex con, the Friday drag show. They had a drag show there.
Awesome.
Let's see. Zoo After Dark, the Kinky Masquerade. So these are all, say what you will, but I don't think I want my university doing this.
And by the way,
tuition dollars to be going towards this.
Isn't this something that's more fun to experiment with your open-minded partner?
You would think, yeah.
I don't want to learn in a textbook how to do BDSM.
Right.
Like, we'll figure it out, right?
Exactly.
We're adaptable.
Yeah.
So, and I love this. I remember Patrice O'Neill talking,
and have
talking about
optional
this.
things that you could do, but not. This is. I mean, I guess these aren't mandatory, requirements, but they're school funded.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember Patrice O'Neill talking about this. He's like, man, I guarantee you, if you want to piss on your bitch, I could make that happen. And people are calling in. They're going, fucking out of your mind. My girl would never let that happen. And he just in an instant goes, you want to piss on your girl? Take a shower with your girl. Start there. Pee on her in the shower. It was like,
All right.
that's a whole lot better than fucking, honey, I'm going to lay a tarp down on the bed.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like trying to get
Hear me
that
out.
way. Hear me out. It's going to work.
Yeah. He's into it.
Yeah, there's ways around everything, but we'll figure it out.
Sure.
If you've got an open enough relationship where you can be honest, and I have struggled with this in my past, I'll be honest. Because the last thing I want is to go to someone that I care about and be like, so how do we feel about the Cleveland Steamers?
Right.
You know what I mean? Them go, get the fuck out of my house. You know what I mean?
So I bought a toilet seat. Here, honey, put this on.
Yeah, and anything outside, like, I remember.
I'm going to need you to put on a little more mascara.
Yeah. There was one, I'm not going to name names. I've probably already named her before on the show, but someone, their friend, excuse me. Fuck. Her girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay, so girl I know, her girlfriend's dad is a dentist.
Okay.
And so he, for Halloween, he makes molds for the girls. So they can have the most legit looking fucking vampire fangs you've ever seen.
Right.
Like we know the plastic ones you put in
Yeah.
your mouth. And they're falling apart and all that. No, these were like a retainer
Yeah.
with the insane dope. And all I could think of was like, I want to get blown while you're wearing those.
Ooh, do you though?
Yes, I did. It was
boy.
the greatest thing ever.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean,
Why? Because you got a little scrape on the sides there?
no,
or
she knew what she
what?
was doing. It was,
Okay.
it
Well,
was
no,
no big deal. But
I mean, just like it's like a fucking
look,
field
any
goal
excuse
or
to
what?
get a BJ.
Well, that's true. I just
Let's-
was
you know.
wondering. Listen, having sharp fangs does not protruding down from the
they
teeth
weren't-
line.
they
does
weren't-
not, make me want to jump in there.
They
just
were
saying.
subtle but dope. Like,
Okay.
if you didn't know any better, you would just think this person had really long canines. Are those
Sure.
the canines?
Incisors, perhaps. I don't know.
Incisors, not molars.
No, definitely not. They're in the
That's
back.
all I know. But I don't know. I feel like all these courses, like, how slow are young people today? Like
yeah.
you can't figure out how to like do something new and freshen things up. There are books. I don't need to go to Schoolcraft to figure out how to fuck my girl, right?
No, maybe to fuck her proper. Who knows?
But, I just struggle. I've been, it turns out I've been putting my red ball harness set on backwards this whole time.
Right.
I just got the leather hook in my mouth and it just doesn't feel good. And they're like, turn it around, you idiot. Didn't you take the course?
I guess not.
At Albion?
Right?
Really?
Fucking
You didn't take the fucking course?
Dirty Slut 101.
Yeah. And if they named the course Dirty Slut 101, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
What are we getting into now?
I'd sign up for that.
I mean, let's start with the Cleveland Steamer and see where this thing goes working up towards final.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. But that's the state we're in now. Is my point. We're in, is that's an identity.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. We did not have that when I was in college. So that much I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that was long time ago. How times have changed.
Oh, how they have.
Hey, insurance. We all need it, and most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who even provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasick from Wasick Insurance Services change all that. Brent has over 30 years in the business and offers all types of insurance coverage: home, health, life, auto, business, commercial, and more. Call Brent Wasick at 734-455-1900 and get a free, no-obligation quote today. Again, that's 734-455-1900 and ask for Brent Wasick at Wasick Insurance.
Walgreens. They're in some shit today. Of course, boycott Walgreens is going around, and
All right.
fuck Walgreens, whatever. They announced over the weekend that that they're not going to sell abortion pills in states where the drugs remain legal, after nearly 24 Republican state attorney generals threatened legal action against the company.
Well,
What
are we doing?
what are we doing?
What are we doing here? That's
Did you learn nothing from overturn of Roe? Like,
No,
really, we need to
clearly
get
not.
20 states attorneys generals to threaten Walgreens. Like,
and why? It's legal
why?
in that state. What is the issue?
I think I don't know.
Okay.
But Walgreens does a lot of mail stuff.
Yeah.
Right, where they send prescriptions to people.
Everybody does.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's
still
a relatively new idea.
well, right. But I'm just saying they're not. I mean, Walgreens is not specific to that. They're unique to that.
Right.
Every pharmacy outlet will do.
but
that.
if you're sending out of across state lines,
Sure, that's a problem. That's illegal. But selling it on the shelf or selling it in your fucking pharmacy is not. That's the whole point of it being legal in that state still.
Yeah. So Walgreens told Politico, and I this story pisses me off too. I get it. I understand why women would be upset at this. Roe versus Wade was a problem. That's the reality. When you have bad law, that's a problem. I'm not against abortion. Neither is Troy. Okay? Let's be crystal clear about that. I don't want to tell anybody what to do with their body or what they can and can't do. Or, well, you're in no condition, look at you, to raise a child, but too fucking bad. Raise it anyways. No, that I get it. There's a hardcore right that wants that to be able to tell people, and they, hey, it's another life, and God created it, and like, I get it. You have that belief. I don't. If I have to take this up with God at some point somewhere down
And
the
if
line,
I don't believe in God, I have to obey by your laws.
Yeah, that's why it's the religious right that's got such a hard on over this. And I used to argue with Jay about this back in the day, and his thing was my tax dollars fund things like Planned Parenthood, which 80% of their model is fucking killing babies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what they do. And I know there's 100 women listening right now. They're probably going to write and go, that's bullshit. They also helped out with fucking whatever, whatever else Planned Parenthood claims to do. But let's be honest. Planned Parenthood's main role is fucking aborting kids. I don't have a problem with it, but let's be real. That's what it is.
In the inner cities.
Yeah, exactly. Don't even get me
We're
started.
going to be real. Let's be real. I'm just saying.
You want to talk Margaret Sanger? It was Margaret Sanger, right? Yeah. You want to get into the deets on Margaret Sanger with anybody?
Moving on.
Yeah. Margaret Sanger had a very specific, which is why Planned Parenthood wants to fucking distance themselves from Margaret Sanger a lot. Because Margaret Sanger didn't really like retards or blacks. Okay? So the birth of your company on her back was like, how do we eliminate stupid black people and retards?
Oops.
Yeah. That's the birth of Planned Parenthood. Again, she's on the right track, just had a really shitty way of saying it. Should have been equal across the board. I just want to kill all babies.
Yeah, right.
Population,
equal opportunity murder.
Yeah. What I was saying was not against blacks and retards. I know it came off like that with the good start thing.
Yeah, right. She was on the right track.
She was on the right track. Should have killed millions more.
Yeah.
I think there's been like 80 million fucking black babies that have been aborted. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, they would make up a much larger percentage of the population in this country alone.
Yeah.
Had that not happened. But to each their own. I get it. I get it.
Sure.
If you're poor as shit and you can't afford a baby,
Right.
last thing you want to take on is a baby.
Whatever. Because you because you became pregnant. Why does that automatically mean you have to have a baby?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Well, if you think it was a gift from God, that's why.
there should be like a fucking, I don't know, like a 3-day
Yeah.
return policy. Even if you shit it out, you got
Yeah.
you got a few days. To
And
handle
by the
it.
way, I don't think God is using cousin Ray Ray as a fucking
Conduit
a conduit to your fucking baby, right?
right?
Yeah.
We were afraid you were not going to get knocked up, so
Yeah.
we sent Uncle fucking JoJo over there to get in there and take care of it for you. Get you on the right path early. Yeah. I know 11 seems a little young, but, trust me, it's my will.
Fuck. Here's something you forgot. I work in mysterious ways.
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
Exactly.
Deal with it. You've heard about the mysterious ways I work? That's one of them, toddler. Enjoy your baby.
You don't get to know why. You don't get to know how this works. Just trust.
That's why it's all mysterious like. It's the way I work, bitches. How dare you question my way of working? I think I got a pretty good stronghold on everything around you.
Yep.
I made all this.
Why'd you make rape?
Again, mysterious fucking ways. How many times do I have to say it?
Some seeds need to be planted.
That's right. So this letter from 20 Republican attorneys general last month who warned of violating state laws if the company mailed out abortion pills. Several other pharmacies, including CVS, Walmart, and Costco, also received a similar letter from state officials. This is a very complex and influx area of the law, and we are taking that into account as we seek certification, spokesman for Walgreens said. Following the announcement, the phrases Walgreens and boycott Walgreens trended. Christy Hamrick, spokesperson for Students for Life, praised Walgreens' decision. This response indicates that pro-life concerns are being heard and that corporations are not rushing to take over the abortion business.
Bullshit. Lawsuits are being heard.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with one side.
They didn't
or
get
the
moral
other.
all of a sudden.
No, they didn't somehow find a conscience. They don't want the financial repercussions.
So here's the thing I don't understand. So when they talk about Walgreens saying they would not dispense abortion pills by mail or at locations in 21 states, including Alaska, Iowa, Kansas, Montana, where the drug is legal.
Okay.
So you get down to These states made it illegal to dispense the abortion pill through the mail, such as Bama, Alaska. Wait, they said Alaska was fine. Arkansas, Florida.
Is there a difference between? And I don't know all the intricacies of each state by state legalities and illegalities of it.
Yeah.
So are these states where they're not allowed to mail it, but they can still technically sell it in the store, and then I don't know, and then somebody could buy it and then mail it. And
Walgreens.
Worried, I don't know, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, just
Or it
wrap
has
it up.
to-
Wrap it up in a sock tape
Or you
and mail
can't
it
have-
anywhere you want.
Is it because you can't have a pill? Now you got to go in and actually get the shop vac in there to chop it up and suck it out? Is that what we're doing?
No, I don't think so. They said they would not dispense abortion pills either by mail or at locations in 21 states.
Okay. Well, is that the 21 states that are illegal?
It says in 21 states, including Alaska, Iowa, Kansas, and Montana, where the drug is legal.
Okay, I'm confused.
It's very confusing. I agree. Other states Walgreens included in the announcement were those that made it illegal to dispense the abortion pill through the mail, such as Alabama, and it goes through West Virginia, Utah, Texas, South Dakota, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Ohio, North Dakota, Missouri, Montana. Such medications used to induce abortions, Mifeprex.
Okay.
Yeah. Should have gone with Milfaprex. Would have been better.
I think that's...
People like to bang MILFs.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of a... It's got mom in the title, and then you're killing the baby, so it's a bit of an oxymoron.
Yeah, but she's a MILF. Mom, I'd like to fuck. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't work.
Yeah, there's still the mom part.
Yeah. Mifeprex are approved by the FDA for up to 10 weeks gestation, as a woman's health risk reportedly increases after that time. Since the overturning of Roe v. Wade, medication-induced abortions have been sought after as an
Can you
alternative.
just take more
abortion
after
method.
that? Like double the if the kid's that much older and bigger, just take a double dose.
Yeah.
You know, if you're at like 5 months, just swallow a handful.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know that it would work that way. Maybe. I mean,
Sure.
you know, I mean,
it's that-
who
maybe it's
doesn't
just-
want to store up for a month and then take all of them at once? That's a hell of a buzz, probably.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Mifeprex falls.
I'm
into
just
that
saying, you know,
category.
if you're late to the game, I have a, I work with a guy that just had it. Well, I shouldn't say he just had a baby. His girlfriend just had a baby. They had no idea. Like, she basically shit out a baby.
Is she that big or?
I haven't seen her. I think I did actually meet her once, and I don't remember her being like huge. So, I mean, it was premature, you know, but all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
by like what, 8.5 months?
not like
Premature?
that. Yeah, like all of a sudden, I think the story basically like her fucking water broke, and they had no idea. Like,
Yeah. Did they want it?
well, they kept it, you know, but
Yeah, you didn't answer my question.
I don't know that they wanted it necessarily.
Yeah,
but
boy, it really took them right out of the. You know, I don't like the fact that they didn't even have the ability to go option out for abortion.
yeah, they didn't know. It's
terrible.
Right? I was like, you know, what? Weren't missing any periods along the way, you know.
Nothing?
Like you didn't have to take a couple days off. That wasn't a red flag, or you know, for lack of a better term.
Yep. So abortion, by and large, from what I gather, and I'm certainly no expert in this category at
Okay,
all.
noted.
All right.
You are on the record as
On the
being an
record, I
expert.
am not an expert. From what I understand,
I'm an expert in causing.
yeah. Planned Parenthood, who does the overwhelming amount of abortions, is funded by taxpayer dollars in a lot of respects. Now, I don't know if they're entirely funded, but the vast majority, I believe, of their funding comes from taxpayer dollars, which is where traditionally, while Roe was legal in this country, that's where the argument came. That was Jay's hard on, because it was like, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to something that I am so fucking against. As a Christian conservative, I am against on every level, because it bothered me. It was like, you know, you don't seem to have this big of a hard on for murderers. You don't have this big of a hard on for anyone that breaks this, that sins in any way. Yet this one's unforgivable. Why? And the answer was because of tax dollars.
It says here the
careful. Are you on DuckDuckGo or are you on Bing or Google? Because I wouldn't put it past Google to not have.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But it says that while abortions are about 3% of the services it provides to
Right.
patients.
Yeah. Go somewhere else. Yeah.
Whatever. But it says there, where'd the money go? Shit. 500 out of the 1.29 billion in total revenue, 553 million came from the government reimbursing Planned Parenthood for providing medical services covered by programs such as Medicaid from other government grants,
Right.
and HHS.
So half their money comes from government?
Yep, and then 27% from donations and 24% from patient fees. So they pay half of it.
Yeah.
So
So I'm going on a limb again. I'm no expert. My guess is drugs like Mifeprex, these people are paying for, right?
yep,
So this isn't something where women go to Planned Parenthood and they get Mifeprex for free, or they go to Walgreens and they get Mifeprex for free, or however it's pronounced, Mifeprex. I don't know.
Milfaprex.
Milfaprex. I feel like we're leaving something on the table with that. Milfaprex.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have this overwhelming, incredible feeling like we're leaving jokes on the table right now.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, we are.
Even at 3% of their 553 million that the government put into there, it's still $16.5 million.
What is?
3% of say they said abortions are only 3% of
Right.
what they do.
Yeah,
and
bullshit.
then the government only gave them 550 million, but 3% of 550 million is $16.5 million.
Yeah.
So there's still real money going in there.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily believe
No, it's
those
just
numbers
you know.
either.
But when you're trying to minimize it, it's only 3%. Okay, well that's still $16.5 million of
My
taxpayer
guess is-
money that went directly to abortions.
Yeah. My guess is I wouldn't put shenanigans past anybody.
No,
Something is
We've established
afoul.
that.
Yeah. And especially if government agencies are not going to look at this falls into, in my opinion, of which I've done zero research. So don't listen to me. I'm an idiot.
Again,
talking
not
on
an
a
expert.
microphone. Yeah. I'm an idiot talking on a microphone. That said, remember the people that would get into a horrible motorcycle crash and die, and they happen to have COVID too?
Of course.
And that was a COVID death?
Yeah.
Right? So I wouldn't put it past them to have someone come in for an abortion and while they're there, pick up Tampax that their insurance is covering for them because it's so expensive. And just going, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. We give Tampax to those in need. We give condoms to those in need.
Sure.
They come in, they get condoms for us, and then we throw in a free abortion. Mm-hmm. What you talking about?
Yeah.
So, again, I'm an idiot.
Here, take your vitamins.
Yeah. So, but that wipes out Jay's argument then. At that point, if your tax dollars are not going to Milfaprex as a drug, then you can't go, well, my only real hard on it, because sin is bad, and as humans, we all sin. This then takes away that like you're not funding Mifeprex. So at what point? So what do you have a problem with now? You might not like what someone does. I don't like the fucking riots that go on in this country. Mm-hmm. There's lots of things I don't like that are frankly none of my business in a lot of respects.
Yep.
And someone might go, oh, you stood on the sidelines during X event when you should have rushed in and helped. God's going to make you answer for that. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, if you're right, if the hard Christian right is correct, and abortion is the end all be all, well then these poor mothers or rape victims or
Right.
incest survivors will have to deal with this with God, who loves them
We'll see.
unconditionally, unless they had that abortion and then burn in hell.
That's the one no.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah. And I don't want to hear this either, because we've run the numbers on a lifetime of tampons, shit like that, where it's like, hey, we got a big victory. We eliminated the tax on feminine hygiene products. It's like, ooh,
You save $30 in a lifetime.
in a
or
lifetime.
whatever
It was like $28
Yeah.
you will pay in tax over the life of a person. And by the way, I've gotten to the point now, I don't give a fuck about that. No, I don't care about that. Do you have any idea how much I pay a month in fucking drug charges? Not illegal ones, but from the pharmacy.
Yeah.
We don't have 3 hours, or I'd run down all the medications I'm currently taking. And I'll run down the prices they cost. So I don't want to hear it, that you're being taxed at a rate of $28 over your life on something like Tampax tax.
It was just comical that they
Comical.
broadcast that as a win for
win.
women. Yeah.
Big win.
Right.
Yuck.
Going forward, it's really powering women.
I caught this clip going around too. If you haven't listened to Russell Brand, I really enjoy Russell Brand. He did an interview with Rogan, I don't know, last week or something.
Yeah, something like that.
It's great.
I still haven't watched it all, but yeah.
Yeah, he's great. But so I don't know why he's making the rounds. If it's just like, oh, it's Rogan's a huge show. I don't know that he's got a book or anything, or if he's just promoting his podcast. I don't know. But he also did Bill Maher's show, Real Time, on HBO.
Oh, yeah.
And he was on there with John Heilman, who's an MSNBC journalist
Oh, okay.
and a total fucking turd. Anyone at MSNBC, I'm sorry, you know. But anyways, they're on the couch together, sitting there, and this guy, John Heilman, is going to go off on Fox News.
Oh, okay.
Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity.
Sure.
They always say this. They are the propagandists. It's faux news. It's not real. They'll never give you a single fucking example. Or they'll say the election was stolen. Oh, they're propagating the big lie.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. You know, not to go down a wormhole here, but please, you cannot have someone 8 of the 9 bellwether states. Is it 9 bellwether states? I believe it is.
No idea.
Obama won 8 of 9. Trump won 8 of 9. Biden lost them all. In the history of our elections, winning those fucking 9 states is it. You win the majority of the bellwether states.
Yeah.
You win the election, period. It's the first time in our election history that Joe Biden won 0 of them in one election. Obama got 69 million votes. Joe Biden, who never left his basement, got 81 million votes.
Yeah.
Now, the only way, and there's a whole list that we could go down about why people go, wow, really? Really? That's crazy. That fucking guy won in some huge landslide? Like, there's reasons why people would question that. Now, the only thing I would say is if
There's the bowl of soup factor.
the bowl of soup factor. Of
course.
Anyone but Trump. I came out of the woodwork to vote for anyone but Trump. Yep. That's really the only argument. How much that holds, I don't know. But the people that go, Tucker Carlson's full of shit, I would ask you, please, write to me. Tell me what he's full of shit about.
Yeah.
Because I've watched Tucker
And bring
Carlson.
receipts, please. You can disagree with it, but you better be able to defend what you're saying.
Right. And don't tell me about the one time someone was wrong. Everybody who's on a microphone's been wrong at times. All of us. Now, how people twist words and stuff like that, there's cute ways of manipulating the message to, boy, you left that kind of critical point out. I'm not saying that's I wouldn't put that past any of them.
That's the issue I have with like the Tuckers, the Bonginos, some of those guys that it will step over some facts to make their point that it's not objective. They have an absolute agenda to what they're doing and what they're saying. So they will the only thing is to prove that point,
right?
As opposed to actually stepping back and being objective. That's the only issue. I mean, I get it,
but they're not technically journalists. Hannity for sure is not a journalist. Neither
that's
is
fair. I'm just saying.
Tucker historically, I believe, is a journalist, but he's not billed as a journalist on that show.
Whereas journalist is a fucking term. You're a talking head on TV. You're essentially a journalist.
But if you're a journalist, you're reporting facts, whether they go in your favor or not. Mm-hmm. That's why what we're seeing now is unprecedented, at least on this level. So anyway, Russell Brand was on there, and John Heilman is going to try to go down the road of, he thinks he's got a friendly audience here where he's going to let people know about Fox News and what they do.
Okay.
And Russell Brand's like, okay.
Let's see.
I hope this is enough of the clip.
I've been becoming more and more of a Russell Brand fan year by year.
Fucking great, man.
Yeah. Let's see. What do we got here? It's a minute.
Yeah. That might not be long enough, but it was hard to find this clip.
We'll get the...
It's disingenuous to claim that the biases that are exhibited on Fox News are any different from the biases exhibited on MSNBC. It's difficult to suggest that these corporations operate as anything other than mouthpieces for their affiliate owners in BlackRock and Vanguard. And unless we start to embrace, and also, mate, like just spiritually, if I may use that word in your great country, we have to take responsibility for our own perspective. I've been on that MSNBC, mate. It was propagandist nutcrackery on there.
Yeah. Not enough of it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, is that not the end of it?
No,
Russell Brand
still...
called out MSNBC private nutcrackery during a now rival rant. Yeah.
Let's see. Does it continue, or do they just keep fucking?
Let's find out. Because he goes off claiming MSC was...
yeah. No, they're just gonna put their own thing. Didn't you vet this stuff?
No, I didn't, because I wanted to get going.
Yeah, right.
So
I'm sure you can find the entire video there somewhere. Wouldn't you be able to?
Yeah, I could have found the whole thing.
Is proprietary. So eventually it'll make the rounds.
Maybe I have it here. I went on that show called Morning Joe. It was absurd the way they carried on. I don't know what it was. It wasn't morning. There was no one called Joe there. No one could concentrate. They didn't understand the basic tenets of journalism. I think to sit within the castle of MSNBC, throwing rocks at Fox News is ludicrous. Make MSNBC better. Make MSNBC great again. It's not about bias. It's a false equivalency because you don't actually know anything about any of these organizations you're talking about, Heilman protested. You've been on MSNBC once, big fucking deal. You don't have a single actual fact. And then Brand says, do you want an example? You want an example. The ludicrous, outrageous criticism of Joe Rogan around ivermectin, deliberately referring to it as horse medicine when they know it's an effective medicine. Rachel Maddow turning on the TV saying, if you take this vaccine, you're never going to get it. Yeah, they do things to get people. So anyway, they go on. It's worth a watch. If you have HBO, it's worth hearing it in only a way Russell Brand can deliver it.
Yep.
He's very smart. He's very good.
Very eloquent.
Yeah, he is.
I do like hearing him talk.
And it would be very hard to sit on that set. You better know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
And when you're in a studio like that, traditional lefty studio with Bill Maher, the guy from MSNBC.
I wonder if his crowd's really still that left, or if it's evolving like him.
Probably classic lefties.
Yeah.
Classic liberals. More so. The woke people know.
Right.
That if you that's not the same thing though. The woke left versus. Yeah. It's just such a captured group right now.
Yeah,
I feel sorry
just
for
like
leftists.
Conservatives and the far right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
no, but it's very easy to throw that out there. Oh, he voted for Trump, so he's a Proud Boy. And you're like, what?
Yeah, right.
Oh, so he's QAnon? Okay. I remember people were saying that, like, anybody who votes for Trump is QAnon. I didn't even know what QAnon was. It was months before I even heard about it.
It was just automatically racist. If you voted for Trump, you're a racist.
Yeah. And here's where I knew what I was getting. I was getting texts from friends and stuff that would be like the QNC instead of the RNC, Republican National Committee.
Yeah.
It would be like QNC. And I'm like, is that a fucking typo? Is the Q next to the R? It's a QWERTY. It's a few. It's close. I'm like, what is it? But then it was more and more like trying to find Republican, but taking out the C and making it a Q. And I was like, what is all this Q shit?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know what
QAnon was.
No, right? I didn't even know what it was.
Until the documentary thing came. You started hearing about, but I had no concept of what it was. Like,
and you're telling me dumb people fell for something stupid? Wow.
Shocker.
Shut the world down.
Right.
There's a few 100,000 morons out there. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
All right, Scientology.
Yeah. Oh my God.
My daughter told me that they took that Tom Cruise thing down.
What Tom
Come
Cruise?
Out of the Closet, South Park, the Tom Cruise one.
No way.
Yeah, that Scientology got it fucking yanked. Like, it's hard to find now.
That's not the Scientology episode. Well, maybe it is.
I don't. Well, it was the Tom Cruise one, whatever. The Scientology back getting it yanked down.
How the fuck did they pull that off?
I don't know. It's amazing, right? But I haven't backed it. We were talking about it the other day, and we were talking about South Park and stuff because they're going to go see Book of Mormon.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about stuff, and I'm like, "Have you seen the Tom Cruise one?" She was like, "I saw it once." She's like, "Can't find it now."
Yeah.
I was like, "What?" So we'll see. I mean, I'm sure I'll be proven wrong, but
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, it's fucking great.
brilliant. Come out of the closet, Tom Cruise.
Okay. Couple emails, and we'll call it a day, T.
Let's.
Maybe we'll get to those stories tomorrow. Okay. The Jerry Jones story.
Oh yeah.
So we hit on that last week. You and I had very differing opinions on it. Again, I should have gone on record and said, I have done so little research on this. If we're going to get into a 30-minute discussion about something.
At least have some idea. Well, no,
Yeah.
what's the fun of that?
Right. But I usually will do enough research to be like, okay, I kind of get the gist of this. I literally knew nothing about this woman,
Right.
her daughter, and this court case.
Yeah.
So that's a little dangerous to wade into that territory where it's like,
Oh, I'll throw speculation out all fucking day long.
yeah, and we should be able to do that and laugh about when we're wrong.
Right.
And I'll admit if I'm wrong, no problem. So this comes from Mr. Bruin.
Okay.
Jerry Jones story. Mike, hold on.
Oh.
You are framing the Jerry Jones story as the mom was okay with receiving grocery money and now the daughter wants to know her real dad. That is far from the case. Look, listen, Jerry Jones is a piece of shit, and I wish not to defend him. However, the mom and daughter milked that agreement to its absolute fullest. They were on Real Housewives of Dallas type BS shows and all around elitist asshole cunts until the gravy train ran out. Now that mom is dead and the daughter has blown everything, she's trying to retap that money keg. They can all fuck off as far as I'm concerned, but please don't act like there's a sympathetic figure anywhere to be found in this story. Yeah. Those are, first off, the fact that you admitted that you've watched some of these Housewives of whatever shows, I would never do that.
He didn't say he watched them. He just said that they were on it.
Yeah.
Doesn't
They were
say.
on Real Housewives of Dallas type BS shows. I don't know. So maybe he got this from an SI article. I don't know. He sounds like he knows more about it than I do, for sure.
Yep.
And my whole point was, if the mom is making a deal through legally binding through the courts with Jerry Jones that affects a 2-year-old's life, and now the 2-year-old is 26 going, I'd really like to know my dad, and my mom's got me in this fucking forever binding deal that I could never admit who my dad is. Like, if you take it from that perspective, which is all I didn't know, but that's what I was like, well, that seems highly unfair. There's plenty of people.
And highly unlikely.
True.
Just with generally how people are. And when there's that kind of money involved.
Highly unlikely when you're dealing with a family as prominent as the Jerry Jones family.
Because,
there are plenty of
Jerry
families.
seems like such a loving, caring father.
Right.
That's somebody I really want in my life.
And he might be. That might not be fair. His boys all work for him. I would work for my multi-billion-dollar dad too, I'm sure. So yeah, it's I don't know. But I know there are millions of people across this globe who have no idea who their real father is, their real mother, their real parents. And they inevitably, at some point in their life, it's very common for them to go down that rabbit hole and try to figure out who they're fucking, and they find out in their 20s that they have brothers and half brothers and sisters and all kinds of stuff. So I was coming at it from that angle, like, well,
It's okay. You could admit you were wrong. It's fine.
Oh, I did. That's why I read the email. And for all I know, he made that up. I don't know. I haven't done my own research, and I'm not going to take an emailer's word, although he sounded like he knew what he was talking about.
At least more than we did. That's for sure.
Oh, goddamn. Mike working on his will. It seemed pretty easy for Isis to lay claim to all your signed shit. First off, if I gave the impression that Isis would get so much as a fucking 1 penny that was left on my deck last summer, you're wrong.
Well, you said it.
No, the Isis, I might have, no.
It's not legally binding, but you did say it.
That he could have all my signed shit?
You were like, take anything you want, I believe. We can check the tape. But
Yeah, he can't have any of my shit.
Okay.
He'd
well,
lose it all anyway.
You can redact it, but I'm just telling you.
I'm
And again,
I'm redacting all of it.
It's not legally binding, so it's irrelevant, but you did say it.
Yeah. So I'm just throwing a Hail Mary to see if I can lay claim to the Motley Crue collection.
No.
If there is a conflict because of signed shit, in that collection, I'd yield it to E, as long as it's not one of the Too Fast for Love vinyls for which I'd beat E to death to get. Also, I'm not selling any of the pieces in the collection, unlike E claimed to do. I understand your emotional link with the items, and I would continue the collection into the future. Thank you for your consideration, and don't you go dying on us. That's from AA Ron.
A-Train.
I would trust the A-Train. First off, I have a shit ton of Motley Crue signed stuff.
Yep.
Tons of it, okay?
Nobody's getting nothing.
Nobody's getting nothing.
I'm getting it all.
However, if AA Ron, I would feel more comfortable giving it to AA Ron than almost anybody, because I do believe that AA Ron understands the personal value to shit like that. Like, it took me 10 years, like legit 10 years, to find the Leather Records version of Too Fast for Love number one. There are plenty of fakes out there. I did all the research on God's Green Earth. I knew exactly what I was dealing with, and I have one of those copies. There's probably 200 on planet Earth. I have one, and it took me a decade of serious research to find one copy. I also have the second and third pressing on Leather Records. Don't mean to brag. They're not worth as much as the original one in black and white with all that comes with it. I would feel more comfortable with AA Ron taking my Motley Crue stuff because he would take care of it.
Okay, be careful what you're saying.
Yeah.
This is the problem you just
I don't
got
have anything
into.
in writing.
All right.
But the thought of Easus, if he wants to go through my fucking CDs that are autographed, I don't give a shit. But that's after Troy has first dibs.
Of course, there you go.
Okay. See? It's not binding, though. It's not fucking binding.
I was protecting you.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Last one, I think. Okay. Last one for today. And feel free to get involved with the conversation. Send us your emails. We love reading them. Walters@DetroitCast.com. And now that we have power again,
Yeah.
we
Sky's the limit.
bring them.
We can print everything and everything.
Gents, I had a gay friend back in high school who loved working at Cedar Point strictly for the dorms. I guess the park is filled with the gay. Cedar Point dorms. And that's from our boy Mac.
You got a lot of the show.
The name's Mac, but you can just call me Daddy.
Okay. Won't be doing that.
Okay, me
But,
either.
Yeah, I
his
would
sign
imagine.
off, not mine.
Well, because there's different levels to that. There's there's so much like of the performers and shit there.
Yeah.
That I think would tend to lead more towards the gay.
Yeah, the gay,
than,
which is fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Than the Matterhorn operator type thing.
Great point.
Sure. And it doesn't take a lot. They'll find each other and just start fucking.
Dude, if you think about this for a second, when you were young, especially if you're talking high school days, I'm assuming they hire high school kids at the Cedar Points of the world and the Disneys of the world summer.
I don't think so. I mean, I think you got to probably be 18 to work. Maybe not. But because it's
Google it real quick.
Well,
how old do you have to be to work at Cedar Point?
Because
I'm assuming
open,
most of them stay on the campus.
Yeah, but they're open more than just the months you're out of school. So they need people that are going to be there the entire season.
Yeah.
And you go down there and live there. So
right. So I don't know if that was simply high school age kids or college age
18,
kids.
Yeah, like getting out of it. Yeah. I think you have to be 18 would be my guess.
But most 18-year-olds, especially nowadays, are still living with their parents, right? They're not in any hurry to get out of their parents' house. When we were younger, if we could have got a job, I didn't even know that was an option. But at Cedar Point, where it's like we're going there for the summer to be in the dorms.
Positions available for candidates that are 18 years and older.
Okay.
Especially if you're going to be living in the dorms. You would have to be. Yeah.
So at 18, shit, I wish I would have known that was an option at 18. Because that would have just been like your dorm at Oakland University.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Just shenanigans, off the wall,
The good old
pussy.
co-ed dorms.
Yeah. It would have been chicks and it would have been booze.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
And surviving a hangover at 18, 19, 20, 21, easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
You know?
can just crush that last beer, put your shoes on, and go straight to work.
Yeah, exactly. I got it from here, boys. I'll throw on my fucking Mickey Mouse costume and I'll be tap dancing out there with the best of them.
Yeah. Hey.
So yeah, that would have been.
It's a good way to go.
And I imagine, like Mac Daddy said, there's plenty of fucking gays on campus.
I'm sure all the boxes are checked. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's whatever your flavor is, you can find it there.
Yeah. All right. With that, let's call it a day, T.
Okay.
And Yeah, my parents come in tomorrow, so we're gonna have to do a later show.
Okay.
Because I got to go to the airport, pick them up, and it drives them all the way. It's gonna cost me $500 in gas.
Okay.
Fuck's sakes.
We've been going back and forth to Brighton.
Dude.
A lot.
Yeah. I put more miles on the car in the last 4 days than the last 4 months. Not kidding.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Crazy.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
Welcome to the real world.
Fucking weather. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad we got a show in, T.
Definitely. I'm glad the power's back on.
Yeah, me
More
too.
than anything.
Oh, me too. All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.